What's going on, you guys? My name is Jeremy Joseph, and this is going to be poker vlog number 1. So everyone, welcome to the channel. I really wanted to start this as I love content creation, and I really wanted to go ahead and give something else a shot. I'm playing poker for about 1 to 2 years and just moved to Seattle, Washington with my girlfriend from Tucson, Arizona. So really gonna look at the PNW area and really just try poker out here. Give me another good excuse to get better at something and to go out and play and meet some people. And yeah, this is me. Very first session, giving a crack at 1-3. It's the lowest stakes they have, and I'm going to try to see how high we can get my bankroll to. I'd love to try out 2-5 or 3-5 eventually, but kind of got to run up the stack a little bit here. So yeah, this is also going to be a birthday gift for my dad. Happy birthday right now. Today, as this is being uploaded, September 25th. I love you. Thank you so much for getting me into this game, and can't wait for you guys to visit. So we'll see you soon. And this is my very first recorded session where we're going to get right into it. Sorry if the footage is a little bit weird. I know my hand was kind of covering the camera for a lot of it. I'm not going to lie. I really need to get better at that, but it is my first session, and I really wanted to showcase as we get into some tough hands. So I really wanted to make sure that I can still show you guys, and I'll get better for the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and let it roll, and please let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much. Here we are pulling up to Fortune Poker for my 4th ever session here in Seattle, Washington. I think they have great, awesome, friendly staff that are always willing to get you guys off the list as soon as possible and into a chair to play some hands. Sadly, I wasn't able to showcase the inside for you guys, but here's at least a little bit of a clip with me in the bathroom, giving you guys a thumbs up before we get started in this session. Starting off strong, we're already going to be dealt a premium with only the second hand dealt of the day with Ace of Clubs and the Queen of Spades, and we're under the gun. I'm going to go ahead the $10 where the small blind and the big blind are both going to go ahead and call. 3 ways to a flop. It comes 2 of diamonds, 5 of hearts, 10 of spades. Both small blind and big blind check, so I'm going to take a stab for 1/3 pot size as I'd be doing this with ace 10, overpairs, and possibly a set. Both the small blind and the big blind are both going to call. So I'm not super confident with my hand anymore, as I know I do have 2 overcards. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can just go ahead and check it down, as I know ace queen can be good sometimes, but let's hope to spike either an ace or a queen on the turn. That's not really going to happen, as the 4 of spades is going to come out on the turn. With this turn, it gives me a gut shot, but I'm just going to go ahead and check it back. The river comes the 7 of spades, and the small blind now leads out for $30. The big blind folds, and I'm also going to fold, and the opponent's going to go ahead and take this $90 pot. I'm not going to get too sticky, as I just sat down at this table, and I have no idea if ace high is going to be good. It's probably not, so I'm just going to let it go.
Just a little bit later, we're looking down at another premium.
The Ace of Clubs and the King of Diamonds is what we got going here. But under the gun +1, and the small blind have already limped. There's no way I want to go 4 ways, so I'm going to go ahead and raise. I'm going to want to size up here because I'm really going to want to go heads up. So I don't want all these people calling with whatever hands. I really wanted to size up big to make sure that I don't get people calling with random lower cards. However, we still get 2 callers. Under the gun and under the gun +1 are going to call, and the small blind's going to fold. The flop comes 2 of clubs, 3 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds. I'm probably best here, but with a lot of backdoor draws and 2 overs, I think I'm just going to check. This pot has already gotten kind of big for a 1-2, and I'm still not super comfortable playing with a lot of money yet. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and check this, and it actually checks around. The turn comes the King of Spades, and seeing that I'm out of position, I feel like I didn't really want to bet this. I kind of wanted to check for deception, so that's what I did. But sadly, it checks all the way around again. The river now comes the 8 of hearts, and I knew I had the best hand here, but I didn't know how much I wanted to bet. So I ended up picking a little less than 1/3 size pot of $32. I was kind of just looking for a crying call. Maybe I should have overbet the pot. I really wasn't 100% sure. Sadly, everybody folds, but at least I take down a $101 pot. I know I definitely missed some value on this hand, so please let me know in the comments what I could have done better. If I should have bet the turn, or if I maybe should have just continued playing it how I did. Was that the best play? I'm not sure. Oh, baby, your eyes aren't deceiving you. We got Ace of Diamonds, King of Clubs, the very next hand. It folds to the button, who raises it to $8. From the small blind, all I did was call. I really should have raised. I got lucky that the big blind actually folded. But in hindsight, I know I was just trying to not get super jumbled on camera and pull out and record very late. So that's what I did. And the board came out all low cards. I ended up c-betting it, and he folds. I definitely had to include the back-to-back ace-king hands.
Looking down at pocket tens from the cutoff, there's 2 limpers to me, and I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to 15. Both limpers are going to call, and we're going to go 3 ways to a flop of king, queen, 4 rainbow. Both players check it to me, and I'm going to go ahead and bet $20 just to protect my hand, just because pocket tens isn't super strong on king, queen, 4, but this absolutely smashes my range. The first player folds, and the second player thinks about it for a little bit before eventually folding as well, and I'm going to go ahead and take home a $68 pot. These next few hands, I tried to see a couple of flops, but I ended up missing, so I ended up taking a loss of $16 from these 3. On to the next hand where the hijack raises to 19. I'm in the cutoff with king queen offsuit, and I was debating on 3-betting it, but I just went ahead and called. The small blind and big blind are both going to call, and I may have inclined them to call as I didn't 3-bet it as maybe I should have being in position. Going 4 ways to a flop, it comes pretty good with 10 queen 8 rainbow. The small blind and the big blind are both going to check it over to the hijack where he's going to continue to bet for $25. I'm going to go ahead and call as this can be a somewhat connected board, but my top pair good kicker is too strong to fold. The small blind's going to fold, but the big blind's going to call, and we're going to go 3 ways to a turn, which is the 5 of diamonds. The small blind's going to go ahead and check it on over to the hijack one more time, where he's going to think about it for a little bit and then bet $50, which is going to be a little less than half pot. I'm just going to go ahead and make the call here as I do think I'm good a lot of the time. He could definitely be on a draw with any 9, jack, or 2 diamonds in his hand. As I really thought I was good here with my top pair, good kicker, and I felt as if he really was just on a draw. He really didn't bet that much. And then the small blind is instantly going to go ahead and fold, and we're going to go heads up to a river. The river's going to come out the 7 of hearts. The hijack is going to think about it for a little bit and then eventually check it on over to me. I just snap checked it back and showed him the winner as I knew I was going to be good and I really didn't want to be getting myself in a sticky situation just in case I got check raised or anything of the sort. I thought I was going to be good, which I ended up being, but as well as if I was putting him on a missed draw, I wasn't really going to be getting any value from him anyway. We're going to take down a nice $227 pot. Here we are in the hijack looking down from a new camera angle. We got my initials, JJ. Beautiful sight to see. So we're going to go ahead and raise to $10 and only the small blind is going to call. Going to a flop heads up, it comes king, queen, 10, rainbow. He's going to think about it for a little while and then check it over to me. I'm just going to go ahead and bet $8 as I'm not super confident with my hand, but I do have an open ender and some sort of pair, though this is a really wet board. This board smashes my range, so I still like this bet here to protect my hand. He thinks about it for a little while and eventually makes the call. The turn comes the 4 of spades, which brings in a backdoor flush draw in which he now checks it to me again, and I'm just going to go ahead and check it back for pot control. Looking back, I probably should have made another small bet just to charge any sort of draw or any type of weaker pair like a 10 or possibly to get rid of a weak king or a weak queen and just play my position. The river comes the 2 of spades and the backdoor flush gets there, but he still ends up checking to me and I'm just going to go ahead and check it back, not looking to get too sticky with jacks. And I end up taking it down. He flips up the ace of diamonds and the 9 of hearts for ace high, and I definitely think I might have been able to get a little bit of value on the turn. Looking down at my notes, I also realized that I didn't bet because I didn't want him to go all in. He only had about $40 behind, so I think I may like not betting on the turn because I didn't want him to jam on me. I didn't feel too confident as he easily could have had any sort of king or queen, but I'm just glad he had ace high here. On the button now, we're looking down at what my dad would call, hello, ladies. We got 2 beautiful red queens and the hijack limp to us. We're going to go ahead and raise it to 15 and the hijack is going to call. Going heads up to a flop, it comes 10-4 deuce with 2 clubs. He's going to check it on over to me and before my bet even hits the table, he snap folds. Still happy to take down another pot of $45. Here's a spicy one for you guys where I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. I'm under the gun and look down at king of spades and the queen of hearts. I'm definitely gonna raise to $10 and only the big blind's gonna call. Heads up to a flop, it comes ace 2 5 rainbow. He checks it on over to me and I'm gonna go ahead and bet $8 just to protect my hand as the ace could hit my range and I can possibly take it down right here. He doesn't think very long before making the call. The turn comes the king of clubs. He checks it to me and I'm just gonna go ahead and check it back for pot control as well as a little bit of deception because I do think I'm good here. The river comes the 9 of clubs and he instantly bets out $25. I'm just gonna snap call because I thought it was good. I thought he would possibly be betting an ace on the turn, but he ended up getting there with queen 10 of clubs on the river. I'm very glad I didn't end up betting the turn because he would have gotten there anyway and I would have lost more. So I think I actually lost the minimum here and I think I played it pretty well. But in hindsight, maybe it was best to bet the turn, but in this situation, I'm glad I didn't. Coming from the hijack, we have the ace of hearts and the jack of clubs. The low jack limps, and with a hand like this, I'm gonna
Raise.
to $15. Only the low jack calls, and it's the same player from last hand. He was definitely the best player at the table, so I'm gonna go ahead and tread this hand with some caution as he was putting some people in some tough spots. No need to worry as the board comes 7-4-8 rainbow. He checks it over to me and I'm gonna check back. The turn comes the queen of hearts, he checks it to me and I'm gonna check back again. The river comes the 6 of diamonds and he snap bets 20. I noticed he bet so fast on the river and that makes me think he's weak, but with just ace high here, I really didn't think I was that good. So I ended up just letting this one go. All right, this last hand of the session is an absolute doozy for you guys. I'm so sorry I don't have the footage as my phone ran out of storage right before this hand happened. The background footage is just going to be in between hands that I had earlier from the session. I told myself right before this hand that I'm going to pick up and leave when the big blind gets to me. Coming from the low jack, I look down at, ooh, pocket kings, baby. I was thinking this is one hell of a way to end a session. Under the gun and under the gun +1 both limp to me, and I'm going to raise it up to 15. Both limpers call, and we're going 3 ways to a flop of 6-2-9 with 2 hearts. They both check it to me, and I'm going to c-bet $20. Under the gun folds, but under the gun +1 makes the call, and this is the same player from the last 2 hands. Heads up to a turn, it comes the 8 of clubs. He checks it to me again, and I'm actually going to check it back for pot control. This 8 could definitely help him a lot more than it would help me. The river comes the 7 of spades, and he insta-bets 65. Probably one of the worst cards in the deck. I knew I should have bet the turn as now any 5 or 10 makes a straight. I'm sitting there humming and hawing for over a minute, just wondering, are my kings ever going to be good here? Another 30 seconds go by and he looks at me and says, I know you have an overpair, I just don't know which one. The last few times he bet out on the river, he seemed to have it, especially back with that queen 10 hand. As well, this board completely smashes his range in comparison to mine having an overpair. I let out a huge sigh and end up letting go my pocket kings. I felt pretty confident though with my fold, especially after the table talk, because I knew if he was calling me out on one hand, of course he would have had me beat if he knew what I had. I folded one more hand and asked the dealer to deal me out. As I'm getting up, the same player looks at me and he's like, hey man, it was a nice fold. I hit the straight on the turn. So this man's had 7-5, and with under the gun calling my raise, it probably priced him in, and he ended up hitting the straight on the turn. I'm very glad I checked back the turn. I lost the minimum. I walked over to the cage, got my money, and it was time to go home. Cool. Just got out of there for my 4th ever session here in Washington. I was in for 300, out for 349, so very happy to show you guys a win. Last 3 times I came here, I got killed. So to be transparent, my bankroll, I was building it up somewhere a little over 1,000. And right when I moved here, I then had 3 really bad sessions, and now I was actually in the negative. So I ended up losing a little over 1,000, and now we're back in the positive, so that's good. So basically I'm starting this channel I'm just about at flat. I think I'm in the black by $14. So basically nothing. So yeah, I'm very excited to go ahead and try to show you guys my poker journey, especially starting at absolutely nothing. I might do some challenges in the future and try to run it up, like 10K challenge, see if I can do that through 1-2, and then work my way up in stakes. But as of now, it was a good session. It wasn't that long. I think I was only here for a couple hours. Tried to get some shots for you guys, tried recording a little bit, but they told me no. So I'm just gonna continue doing my thing and trying to get hands for you. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and glad I can go ahead and start this. So I will see you guys next time, and I'm not sure if that's gonna be here, if I wanna try somewhere else. So thank you for watching.